power outage begins in the evening. The lights go out, the Wi-Fi disappears, the apartment becomes quiet. Then someone opens the refrigerator. It is full. Milk, meat, leftovers, yogurt, vegetables, frozen food, and meals that were supposed to be cooked tomorrow. At first, it looks like the family has plenty of food. But a full refrigerator is not the same thing as a food reserve. During a long outage, the question is not only, do we have food? The real question is this: can we safely eat this food if there is no electricity, no reliable cooking, limited water, and possibly no easy way to buy more tomorrow? That is why a 72-hour food supply is not simply a shelf full of canned goods, it is a plan. A practical reserve should help a family stay calm for 3 days, without depending on a supermarket, a delivery service, a working refrigerator, or a complicated meal routine, and it should work in an ordinary apartment. The first important idea is simple. Your emergency food should not depend on the refrigerator. The refrigerator is useful at the beginning of an outage, but it is not a long-term guarantee. If the door stays closed, a refrigerator can keep food cold for around 4 hours. A full freezer may stay cold for around 48 hours, or around 24 hours if it is only half full. These numbers are useful, but they should not create false confidence. They mean the first hours of an outage should be handled carefully. Write down the time when the power went out. Keep the refrigerator and freezer doors closed as much as possible. Do not open the refrigerator every 15 minutes just to check what is inside. Every unnecessary opening releases cold air and shortens the safe period. But even if the refrigerator stays cold for several hours, your real reserve should already be separate from it. A good 72-hour supply gives your household enough familiar, safe, simple food to get through 3 days without making the situation harder. That means your reserve should meet 5 conditions. It should be shelf-stable, easy to prepare, require little or no extra water, contain food your family will actually eat, and be organized so you can use it without turning the kitchen into chaos. Shelf-stable means food that can safely remain at room temperature before opening. This is why canned food, sealed pouches, crackers, nut butter, shelf-stable milk, dried fruit, packaged grains, and some ready-to-eat meals can be useful. But shelf-stable does not automatically mean practical. A large bag of dry pasta may last a long time on a shelf. But if there is no electricity, no safe cooking method, and limited water, that pasta may not help much on the first day. A food reserve must be designed for the conditions you may actually face. Cooking should be an optional layer. It should not be the foundation of the plan. Imagine 2 households. The first has boxes of pasta, rice, beans, and frozen meat. The second has canned meals, ready-to-eat pouches, crackers, peanut butter, canned fish, shelf-stable milk, fruit cups, nuts, dried fruit, and a few foods that need only hot water. The first household may have more food by weight, but the second household may be better prepared for the first 72 hours, because the food can be opened and eaten immediately. No complicated preparation, no large amount of water, no dependence on the refrigerator, no assumption that the stove will work. That is the difference between storing food and building a food system. The second condition is simplicity. During an outage, people do not want to make complicated decisions every time someone is hungry. The family may be tired, the lighting may be poor, children may be restless, and the kitchen may not be fully usable. A good reserve removes decisions. Instead of asking, what can we possibly make with this? The family should see clear options. Something for breakfast, something for a quick lunch, something more filling for the evening. A few snacks. The goal is to prevent the family from reaching the second day hungry, tired, and frustrated. The third condition is water. Food and water are connected. A reserve based only on salty snacks or dry grains can create another problem. It increases the amount of water the family needs. That does not mean these foods are useless. It means they should not be the entire reserve. A practical food supply includes options that can be eaten without adding water. Ready-to-eat canned food, sealed meal pouches, nut butter, fruit cups, crackers, and shelf-stable dairy products. The more water, fuel, and cleaning a meal requires, the less reliable it becomes. The fourth condition is familiarity. People often buy emergency food that looks practical but never gets eaten. Emergency food should be ordinary food. Food your family already knows. Food that a child will accept. Do not build a reserve from products your family would not normally eat. Look at your existing routine. what can stay on a shelf, what can be eaten without cooking. Then buy a little more than usual, one extra package, one extra can. Over time, this becomes a reserve without one expensive shopping trip. For one adult, think in 3 daily patterns: a simple breakfast, a practical daytime meal, a more substantial evening meal, and several easy snacks. For a child, the structure may be different. They may need familiar textures, familiar drinks, and food that can be eaten immediately. An older relative may need softer food, or a separate dietary plan. Someone with diabetes, allergies, or a prescribed diet may need a separate part of the reserve entirely. A family becomes prepared when every person has food that works for them. Now let us return to the refrigerator. Note the time of the outage. Keep the doors closed. Use the shelf-stable reserve as your main plan. Then make deliberate decisions. If you need something, open the door once. Take what you will use, and close it again. Do not stand in front of the refrigerator deciding what to eat, and do not trust smell alone. Food can become unsafe even when it does not obviously look spoiled. An appliance thermometer gives you information instead of guesswork. A food reserve protects you from risky decisions. Another basic rule: every emergency food supply should have a manual can opener. A cabinet full of canned food is useless if the only can opener is electric. Keep one manual opener with the reserve itself. Also keep a spoon, a small knife, and paper towels. Keep a short written list of what is stored there. That list turns a pile of products into a system. Imagine a household of 3. For breakfast, cereal with shelf-stable milk. For daytime, canned beans, fruit cups, nuts. For evening, ready-to-eat meal pouches. The point is to eat without depending on electricity. Give the reserve a clear location. Use it normally through rotation, but always replace what you use. When a child's food needs change, update the reserve. And one final safety point: do not keep swollen, leaking, or severely dented cans. The reserve reduces risk, not creates it. Food preparation should not be separate from the rest of the family plan. It connects to water, light, and safety. If the food is simple, familiar, organized, and ready to use, it becomes one less problem during a difficult day. A 72-hour food supply is not about fear. It is about removing pressure. You need 3 days of food your family already understands. Safe, visible, and easy to use. Because during a disruption, the best food reserve is the one that turns a difficult 3 days into a manageable routine.